Greetings YouTube, time for another bargain video. First up we have Modern Man, the adult picture bag from 1960, and Dude from 1965, and I picked these up at a flea market, and they are delightful. They just made me smile. The innocence and the naivety in some ways, I guess, of these magazines was quite delightful. And I saw that title and I'm like, man, dude, had to own those. But they really were quite entertaining. And we have Mappa Mundi, which is a reproduction of a selection of medieval maps. I picked that up at the estate sale for 50 cents. The World of Bells number 3. Which has a interesting selection of images, color images of different types of bells that are available in the world and where they come from. Some of them are similar to some of the things that we have in our collection, and some of them are interesting just because we like bells. And we have Stranger in the Forest on foot across Borneo, but a guy's journey across Borneo on foot. The title says it all, I guess. Then we have The Lord of the Rings on CD. I got that from my wife. Then we have Young Fu of the Upper Yangtze, which is the story of a young man at the cusp between the 19th and the 20th centuries. That looked like it might be interesting. Then we have a bunch of DVDs. In fact, there's one more that didn't actually fit on the table today. We have The Great Race, which is a delightful film. I really quite enjoyed it, and has the largest pie fight in cinematic history. Then we have Brick, which is a film I've heard good things about. I've never seen it. Hardball. I've also heard good things about this, and I've never seen it. Then we have Hunted, Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. So that sounds like it could be interesting. These are two very good actors. We have The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is a film my wife wanted to see, and I picked that up at Walmart for $5. That's full price, but it's still a pretty good deal. $5 isn't bad. Then we have Battlestar Galactica Razor, which I've never seen, but people have said nice things about. Then we have a Jason Statham movie with Ryan Phillip and Wesley Snipes. Yes, apparently I have a problem. We have a film, I'd never heard of this. Pierce Brosnan and Patrick Stewart together in a film called Detonation. So I had to grab that. We have Love Story, which was never open. It's still sealed. I picked that up really cheap. We have Moonraker, which is so incredibly campy from beginning to end. And when you listen to it with the commentary track, it just makes it even worse. Because it's like these old dudes, old sexist, misogynistic dudes, talking about how realistic the film is. It was just amazing. And we have Bogart and Bacall in The Big Sleep. We have Humphrey Bogart, Audrey Hepburn, and William Holden in Sabrina. And I picked these up at an estate sale as well. And here we have a 4-pack, Adam's Rib, Woman of the Year, The Philadelphia Story, and Bringing Up Baby, which I also got at a estate sale. It's a collection of TMC, Turner movie classics, romantic comedies. We have a couple of belts I picked up at a yard sale. I have some Shield projects I'm coming up, then I can use these as straps, and I paid $2 for those. And we have some clothing, which is unusual for me. I have a quilted top, I have a pair of sweatpants, and I have 2 pair of regular pants. And these pants here, they're like a kind of a light hiker. They got a zipper pocket and a main pocket, back pocket here. This little weird pocket, which has an elastic in it, I have no idea what it's for. None whatsoever. It's got this elastic thing. I don't know what it's for. There's one on each side. Somebody tell me, it'll be cool. Then it's got thigh pockets on both sides. This one has an additional pocket, which I think this one's a little too floppy for my taste, but this one might be useful for something. But they also have zip-off legs. That was nice. And obviously these are summer weight pants. And this is a pair, this is a Wrangler style pair of cargo pants. And I actually own a pair of these already, but the pair I have don't fit as nice as these do. So I'm going to get rid of the pair I've got and replace them with these. So that's cool. And it's a really nice fabric. Very nice soft fabric. It's quite pleasant. And I got both of those at Goodwill. time for section 3. This is going to be a mix of things. We have a Heavenly Snowflake stained glass coloring book. Got that from my wife. We have a bell here. The striker is steel. The bell could be pewter. I'm not positive. But it's not magnetic. Got a nice little tone. We got that for 50 cents. And this is a doorbell, a literal doorbell. You screw it in place, and a key goes in here, and you turn the key, and the key is on the outside of the door, and the bell is in the inside of the door. And it does work if you put a square drive driver in there for like square drive decking screws. It rings quite nicely. It's quite aggressive, in fact. We're gonna have to figure out a way to make my own shaft, get a square steel shaft, play with that, but I can do that. We can figure it out. And again, 50 cents at an estate sale. This is a bag of off-cut goat soap. I'm a fan of goat soap, and a woman was selling some off-cuts at a flea market for 25 cents a bunch, and so I was going to pay a quarter for this. And I had a pleasant little conversation with her. She asked if I needed a bag. I said no, because I always carry a bag with me when I go flea marketing. She goes, well, you got your own bag, and you can have them. So I got free soap. So there you go. So I thought I'd give that a try. I use goat soap on a regular basis anyway. Then we have a penguin here. It's an ornament. My wife's probably going to give this away. And pardon the vulgarity, but this penguin has seen some shit. Look at that facial expression. Then we have a Funko Batman figure. I picked up for $1 at a thrift shop. I've never owned one. I'm going to probably talk about it a little bit in a review, but I don't know if I'll keep them or not. We'll see what happens to them. Then we have a tube of dinosaurs. So I got this at a yard sale for 50 cents from an adorable little tot. She handled the deal. Well, pretty much handled the deal by herself with her mother's encouragement. I only paid 50 cents for it. I'll probably do demonstrate how these can be used with 25mm figures. And then we have 2 bags of figures, and I got these because they have skeletons in them. I paid $2 a bag. There are a number of other figures in here. I'm going to weed them through and see if I can use them for anything. Otherwise, I may just re-gift those, donate them back again. I may find use for them. We'll see. But for the price, you know, you can't beat that to get some large-scale skeleton figures. Then we have this guy who looks like a science fiction ranger of some kind, like an Outback Australian dude with that hat. I have no clue what he's from. None whatsoever. So if anybody out there does, that'd be cool. I paid $1 for him. I don't know if he came with any gear. I'd be surprised if he didn't have something. That grip looks like it was designed to hold something in his hand. But he's got one eye and kind of looks like a mean cow. So if somebody knows what he is, tell me. Then we have a plant hanger, which we're going to put off of my porch, or my wife can hang up more plants next spring. We have a stone, which I picked up at an estate sale, and it's sedimentary rock. And it just appealed to me, and something in my head said that the woman that picked this up, brought it home, it had some import. I don't know why I think it's a woman. I don't know, but then I'm an animist, so maybe the rock told me. Then we have 2 pieces of actual silverware, a soup spoon and a butter knife. I've replaced all my forks with silverware, flatware, so actual silverware. So now I'm going to start replacing my regular steel stuff. And I picked these up for $1 a piece at an antique shop. We have a finial, which I think is for a flagpole. I think I may use that for either that purpose, or maybe use it for something topping a pole arm or something. I don't know. We'll see. It's aluminum. Then we have this hammer, which is very unusual. This is a solid steel shaft. It's got an aluminum butt plate, an aluminum striking head. This is handmade, okay? And it's strange because the balance point is like here. And because this is solid steel and the ends are aluminum. But obviously it was used, and the advantage of aluminum is that, unlike lead, it's harder and less toxic. So maybe the person didn't want to use lead, they wanted a hammer that wouldn't be less likely to mar steel than would another steel hammer, or even a bronze hammer, because I believe that bronze or brass may be less damaging than aluminum, but I'm not sure. But aluminum should be harder, at least harder than brass, I think. I have to check that. I don't know. Then we have a Stanley utility knife, which is very wonderfully shiny. And the blade's unusual in that it has a nail nick for opening. I've never seen a disposable blade with a nail nick before. And you unlock it by pulling this directly in the direction of my pinky. So you have to pull your fingers on either side and pull straight, and that unlocks the blade. It's really wonderful chrome, and I've never blade super sharp. Use caution when closing. I don't know if it's super sharp, but it is sharp. It's a utility knife. It's got a nice feel to it, and I've never seen it. I'm gonna see if I can actually run down some blades for that. See if they still make them. Then we have one of those exercise stretchy tubes, and I got this because I've been playing with the idea of maybe working on some tube-based missile devices, a bow, an arrow slinger or a slingshot. And so this is just an experiment for $1. I got some tubing I could use, see if I like the idea before I invest in something better. And I can probably use these handles for something, because they're just snip the ends off and the handles come free. So I got 2 strapped handles, so I might be able to use those for something too. Reborn is something else. Then we have this large fork, and my goal with this fork is to hopefully someday I have a forge, heat these up and then straighten them so that they're perfectly straight. Take out the wood that's in here and then make this into essentially a gladiatorial military fork. Sharpen, obviously once it's all said and done, before I assemble it onto a shaft, sharpen the blades, and then put it onto like a full 5-foot or 6-foot shaft to make it have a nice reach weapon. And I picked that up at an estate sale, I think for $2. So that was a good investment as far as working on something like this is. Then we have these 3 files and 1 farrier's rasp, which I've picked up for potentially future knife use. I'm still working on a farrier rasp knife. I'm kind of trying to find a place to put a new belt grinder but I need to get outside on a decent day when my foot isn't bugging me and do some work on that. Maybe the last week of October, because I should be on vacation. I am on vacation. And then we have this, and I bought this new. It's a ZGB 17 3/4 inch oval shank wrecking bar, rugged, hardened, and tempered steel. But I only paid $8 for it, and this is unbelievably comfortable in the hand. It really is, and it's a nice length. You could put a lanyard on here. This becomes a wonderful striking device. This would function as a hammer because it's flat surface. You could use this to go through cinder blocks. This could go through drywall, take out 2x4s, pry up nails to take things apart. You could strike it here with a rock or something to get this in there to pry something apart. Just a really good overall tool and potential it hits the fan kind of a tool, you know what I mean? Very useful, and at the price, I don't think it can be beat. So if you have an Ocean State job lot near you, or you can find this stuff online, I was really impressed with a ZGB utility knife, and I'm really impressed with the design on this thing too. Very comfortable. And then last in this section, we have 2 LED bulbs from Dorsey. I picked these up on sale at Sears for $3.40 something a pop. And I will use them in converting incandescent flashlights into LEDs, and these are 30 lumen bulbs. One more section, folks. This is my last bargain find for this video. This is a pedaling device, and this is the type of pedaling device I've been using for almost the entire time since I've been diagnosed as a diabetic. Now, I've obviously made a modification here. I put padding on the these because I pedal these with my socks. I don't use any kind of anything else because there's some cushion between me and the pedals. Even though I can't really feel my feet, I don't want to damage them regardless. And I had a device like this. In fact, my last one was from Gold's Gym brand. And after about almost 5 years, I completely blew out the bearings. The bearing was just shot. And I found this one in Hudson, New Hampshire at a Goodwill, and they have a by the pound place where essentially they put things out and they're in these big plastic carts, and they're like 4x12, and every 2 hours they move all the cards out, and anything that wasn't picked up in that time period gets tossed. It's gone. It gets recycled and like it's either thrown away or like to rendering plants, things like that. And this was there because it was missing some screws, and these two legs were kind of skewed. So I think someone thought it was broken, but I looked at it and going, there's nothing wrong with this. So I brought it home and took the screws out from my one that was damaged, replaced the screws, and there's 3 screws on each side like they're supposed to be. And I kept the 2 legs from my other one, so I've got these 2 legs here. I saved them for my last one because they're good steel, nice weld, it's got pre-drilled holes. I'll find something to do with them. And I just threw away the section that's in the middle because when I say the bearings were blown, when I took this off, black graphite powder poured out. Thankfully, it poured out onto the plastic mat that my chair sits on and not onto my carpet, so it was easy to clean up. But yeah, the bearings were blown in this thing. It was horrible. But yeah, so I paid like a total of like $1.30 or something like that for this device, and all I had to do was transfer the pads I had from the other one and put screws in it from the other unit. So it was good to go. So that was kind of a nice deal. I was quite happy with that. So there you go. This has been this week's bargain video.